Hey everybody, it's Peter from the Kia Hyundai channel. Welcome to our live video series. Today, Friday fun day, we're gonna take a look at the Tucson. This is the Preferred with the Trend package. And I don't know, I was almost gonna title this might be my favorite Tucson, certainly favorite non-hybrid Tucson. So we'll talk about that because there's the N line as well, and we'll go through that. So if you are just joining us for the very first time, this is filmed live. So we're gonna let our live audience build for the first 3 minutes. And if you just are not live with us and you just wanna get to the content, you can skip ahead to the 3-minute mark if you want. But if you wanna know how to join us, I'm gonna show you how to do that right now. And we'll talk about some news and some notes. So let's flip the camera around here for a second and jump down over here. This is what we'll come to a little bit later in the video. All right, if you want to join us live, you just go to our YouTube channel. You can see there's a standard video right here that just sort of fills the spot. And if you refresh the page at exactly 2 o'clock, which we are just a hair early, it'll change in a second there, then you will see that we have, there we go, it's 2 o'clock right now. All right, so you will see that the live video that we're filming takes over that home page. So you're gonna click into that and watch a quick little ad. While you're watching that ad or while you're skipping that ad, let's be real, I know what's going on here. I'm gonna skip it as well. I'm gonna run a quick little ad for the 3 dealers that support this channel. Brantford Kia, Brantford Hyundai, and Owen Sound Hyundai. They are dealers that treat you like family. And you know what? Quick little story time because, oh, this is so frustrating. All right, obviously I work for the company. Obviously I'm promoting the dealers I work with, but I'm not just promoting them. I actually work with our sales teams to make sure that they're doing things the way I want things done for people that deal with us. So I'm hearing stories of people who are like, I haven't tried your dealer yet. I'm trying the dealer that's not too far away, or the other dealer's not too far away, and they haven't tried our dealer yet. And then they get frustrated and they write to me and they say, I'm hearing these things from dealers. And then they tell me where the dealers are from. And it's like, why don't you just try us first? So when I say try out our dealers, it's because we really do things differently. If you notice, these videos are different than the videos that other dealers are doing. And there is a reason for that. We do things a little differently. I heard about people wanting to buy an EV6, and they're telling me other dealerships are saying it's a $1,000 non-refundable deposit. We do a $500 fully refundable deposit on those cars here at Brantford Kia. Owen Sound Hyundai and Brantford Hyundai are same type of things. We do things differently to make it easier on you because we just want to earn your business. And if you decide that the cars that we have are not the best for you, that's fine. Buy a car somewhere else, but give us the chance. So little mini rant because I'm dealing with a lot of emails from people that are frustrated with their purchasing situations and then they haven't tried us out. And I'm going, well, you're asking me for advice, but you're not trying our dealers out. Give us a try. So, rant over. I feel good about it. What else is new? Not a whole lot. We're waiting for EV6. We're waiting for other stuff like that. People said that they want me to do an EV6 update every day. I'm not going to do that because things like the Kona N line could be updated every day as well, or Kona N could be updated every day as well. So that car is also on its way. Lots going on here. So there we go. Anyways, let's just go right into the video. We're 3 minutes in. Thanks everybody for joining us. If you are a regular with us, do me a favor again. If you're a regular with us, hit the like button. If you're not a regular with us, let me take some time to earn that like. But if at some point during this video, you like something about the vehicle, you like something about the video, you like something I've said, maybe you just like my hairdo, then go ahead and hit the like button as well, and we'll do our best. Okay, let's jump into this car. So like I said, probably one of my favorite Tucson, non-hybrid Tucsons. I feel like this is just a great value package, a great package of kind of everything in one. I'm hoping you guys can see me because clearly I'm having issues with it. What I want to do is just show you where it is in the lineup. It's a little bit tricky because it's the Preferred package, which you can see is around $30,299 in Canada. But then you've got to go to select that, and then you've got to add the Trend package, which will come up here, obviously, with my spotty internet. There we go. You can add the all-wheel drive, which this one has. I believe it does. I haven't even checked. I'm sure it does. And then the Trend package. So that Trend package is a really nice set of features. It's a pretty good value in the lineup. It's not like it's crazy cheap or anything, but that $2,600 I think is well spent for some of the things you get. And we're going to talk about what's in there. All right, sorry for a second. Are we still here, guys? Let me know if I know I lost you for a second, but let me know if we're back and we'll just keep going. I'll assume we're fine, but let me know that we're still good. All right, so the big thing I like about this package is we do have a panoramic sunroof on here, and I think that's just such a nice thing to have in this class of vehicle. So let me just make sure we're still there. All right, we're good. Okay, perfect. All right, so let's just talk about, first of all, I'll put the key in my pocket. So here's what we've got on the key. We've got the remote start on the key fob, which is, a new thing that they're doing pretty much everything with the push button start now. So pretty simple key there. We're gonna flip that into my pocket and we never have to take it out for the rest of the video. Now, Speaking of remote start, this vehicle, this package also comes with the Blue Link, which is the cell phone that can control your car for remote start, for various other things. I really have come to appreciate that Blue Link system. You can just start your car from your phone, and I don't know if you're like me, but in my house, I keep my keys in a certain spot, and I have my phone with me, you know, all the time because we're all obsessed and we have issues. But I can just sit there on my phone and remote start my car real quick when it's super cold like it is right now and get those leather seats warmed up. And it's just a nice feature to have, including to check for a whole bunch of other things. So you do have that Blue Link system. And then down here, you've got kind of the standard wheels, but they do have a lot of sidewall there, which is kind of nice for some people. And down front, you do have the tinted grille, which we'll talk about. These are lights, of course. We'll show you them later in the video. But they are tinted, not lighter color. So sometimes when they're lighter color, they just don't blend into the dash as well. But overall on the outside, kind of a midline looking vehicle. But when you jump inside, it feels much more like a highline vehicle. So let's just jump in for a second here. One of the things I like, and I always forget to point this out, or I feel like I don't point it out enough. Maybe you'll think I point it out too much. This door, the way it curves around here, down at the bottom, this is a rubber seal. Now, this keeps most of the dirt out of this general area and allows you to keep your pant legs clean when it's super dirty out like it is right now with the salt and the sand and everything else. All right, jumping in here, because it's not the full top of the line everything, you still have the analog gauge cluster. Now, some people like this. Some people want to see the digital system instead. This is, in my mind, really the only major sacrifice you're making for what could be a highline vehicle. So I don't think this is cheaper, but just so you know, if you're wondering what I'm talking about, the higher trim line does have a display screen here, which is pretty impressive to look at, and all your gauges are still there, but they're full display screen. So in here, right side tach, lights, left side speedometer. If you look at the outside, there's a little bit of blue around that edge and blue around that edge. If I switch the drive modes, you will see that they can switch. There's a sport mode and they go to red, and there is the smart mode as well there, or sorry, normal mode, eco mode, it goes green, and there's the smart mode there. So we have an eco mode and a smart mode, which is pretty rare. I should probably explain that really quickly. The eco mode essentially resists downshifts. It kind of dulls the throttle. If you're driving efficiently anyways, eco mode's the way to go. Smart mode is often replaced, has often replaced eco mode in our vehicles. The smart mode works like eco mode, but it uses your interaction with the throttle, interaction with the gas pedal to determine what mode it should be in. So it tries to go to eco whenever possible, but if you want a little bit more peppy throttle, that kind of thing, it'll move to normal. It'll even move to sport mode. So eco mode just kind of forces you into that sort of dull feeling, but somewhat efficient driving. So nice to see them both here. And then of course you have a terrain mode here, which I can jump into snow mode, mud mode, or sand mode. And that is a big difference in the Canadian vehicles. You guys don't have mud or sand mode if you're in the States. And that's just a nice feature as well. We've talked about how those systems can be used in various driving conditions. So there is that. All right, jumping over here, you've got satellite radio. So I left it on satellite radio, so remember to talk about it, because if I don't have it on satellite radio, you would have AM or FM, you have HD radio. But overall, the feeling of this car is that you have sort of everything you need. You don't have the 10.25 inch screen, but that means you do have a dial here for the volume knob, a dial here for the tuning knob, and you also have the Android Auto and Apple CarPlay that is wireless. So usually you wouldn't get wireless Android Auto or wireless Apple CarPlay, but in this case you do, and that, in my mind, is a big advantage on the 8-inch screen that you don't get on the 10.25 inch screen. So there we go. Down here you have the automatic climate control, and again, dual zone automatic. So again, we're not dealing with manual controls in here. We're dealing with all top of the line type stuff. And one feature I really like is this diffuse button right here. And if you hit the diffuse button, what it does, you can see it's sort of repurposing the air. And instead of blowing out just these vents here, the entire front grille has little perforations in there. And those little perforations allow it to move some air through. So you get this very much of a gentle breeze kind of blowing towards you rather than the fan in your face. It's quite nice. I like it quite a bit. And the only thing I found is my Santa Cruz has this, and the Santa Cruz is a wider vehicle. I do think that I have, in fact I do. I have vents here in my Santa Cruz, and it doesn't look like I have as many vents here. I can still feel some air coming through here, but it seems to me that the Santa Cruz is just a little bit wider here, which would make sense. The Santa Cruz is technically a slightly wider vehicle. I just always assumed the Santa Cruz was wider only on the outside. It might be a hair wider just here in the driver's area there, but I'm not 100% sure. So yeah, but that diffuse function does allow the air to flow right through the whole thing. It's a unique feature that I think a lot of people forget about. We don't talk about as much as we should, but it changes the way the air comes at you. And again, it just seems such a silly thing to talk about, except every time I hit it, people are like, oh, that's kind of nice. It's like a refreshing breeze coming at you as opposed to just wind blasting in specific areas there. So it's nice to have. And of course, with this auto system, speaking of wind blasting, you can set it up here so that the fan speed would go maximum. Hey, look, there's me. The fan speed would go maximum if it needed to, but obviously it doesn't need to right now. It's fairly warm and comfortable. This car's been inside for a while. But if I turn this down, the fan speed would go no higher than about halfway. So that would just keep it nice and quiet in here as you're driving if you wanted it. I'm going to turn it off for now, just like I always do, just to keep the volume down of other things in there. Down here, we do have a wireless charge pad down here. So you can put your phone there, and it is a vented wireless charge pad. So that's nice and faster charging, but also cools your phone. USB port there, USB port there, and a hidden 12-volt port behind the door, which is just nice and clean looking there. It is the actual gear shift knob. If you have the higher trims, it is a knob, it's a dial to turn. This is the actual handle. So same thing as the Santa Cruz in this non-turbo version of the Tucson. When you throw it in reverse, you have a nice crystal clear backup camera. And if I turn the wheel a little bit, you can see that the yellow and red lines will turn with the car and the blue line will stay straight with your parking spot. When you're backing into a spot, you're gonna line these blue lines up with your with the parking lines, and it really lines up perfectly. They're perfectly in line. It's well done. And then you straighten the car up, and you'll be perfectly centered and perfectly straight in the spot. So that's just a nice little reason for having those lines there as they are. I'm gonna put the car back in park. As we scroll down here a little further, you end up with, like I said, the drive modes and the terrain modes. You can switch between drive and terrain modes there. And then, of course, this switches between. So instead of having a dial to move, you just move this, toggle it up or toggle it down. Automatic start stop on this car. So at some stoplights, if the car's warmed up and conditions are met, it can turn itself off temporarily at a stoplight just to save a tiny bit of fuel. Some people like it, some people don't. I'm just telling you that it's here. Then we have hill descent control, and we have the auto hold for the electronic parking brake, and you can pull up your backup camera in many different situations and look at it right there without having the car into reverse. Tap the button again and it comes back. So really nice mix of options through here, right? You've got the gear style shifter that people like. You've got the dual zone automatic climate control that people like. You've got the big screen, not the 10.25 inch screen, but because it's a slightly smaller screen than it could be, you end up with wireless Android Auto, wireless Apple CarPlay. So a nice mix there. The only thing I should have mentioned, and I didn't quite get to it here, heated seats and heated steering wheel. So rump roasters, which we like, heated steering wheel, which we like as well. What's missing here on the higher trims, you would have a ventilated seat. So that's why that is not filled in there. And moving across here to the steering wheel, you have smart cruise control, so that'll keep the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you. And you have lane keeping assist along with the lane follow assist. So all of the features in my mind that you should have in sort of the luxury end of this vehicle, and you're getting them right here, which is quite nice. And then of course, panoramic sunroof. That is that trend package, the preferred trend or preferred with the trend package. That adds that really impressive sunroof. Now, when you open it, it's not as impressive. Some people think it should open all the way, so let's just show you the truth about how far it opens. That's all it does. But that's okay. You still have the fresh air. It has a large wind flap up here, and that will absorb the air so you don't get that buffeting feeling. But one thing to keep in mind is if it opened any further, you would get that aerodynamic weirdness going on, and not everybody likes that. So it doesn't open as far as some people think it should, but if we close it, you can close that and the cover at the back. See it coming up? It'll stop for a second. There we go. Now this whole sunroof is closed, and it closes there, and you can see that. Oh, excuse me, I had to sneeze off camera. All right, sorry about that. So nice thing about this cover here is it does insulate a little bit of sound, maybe a little bit of heat. And if you don't want it to have that sunroof open, then you can close it and it looks like there's nothing there. I like keeping just the cover itself open. I think that looks better, and it's nice to have that powered cover. And again, if your back passengers didn't want the sun coming in there, you could just close it part way. It can stop at any point. So just a nice little feature there as well. All right, we're only 13, 14 minutes in. Usually we go take questions a little bit later, but you know what? Maybe we'll just double check questions right now. We got 56, 58 people on. So let's see if we can go for 60 likes. We're about halfway there. We'll jump out and take your questions, and then I'm gonna go rear seat, trunk space. We're gonna talk about some lighting stuff, maybe a little bit more technology. I'd like to talk about some safety. I haven't talked about that yet, so we'll talk about those safety features as well. But we'll just double check your questions. Those of you that want to know how to follow me on Instagram, please do follow me right there. I do post a story every single day telling you what vehicle's coming up, so feel free to jump on Instagram and follow me there if you like. And I think I just passed 1,000 people the other day, which was kind of cool because I don't push you guys too much there, but I think I should start doing some more stuff there as well, just to keep you updated. All right. I just got my Tucson Limited Hybrid over this week, and I have a question. How do you have you lights on? What? I don't understand your comment. So I have to re-ask that again because I'm working quickly and I didn't understand that. All right. I don't know if I could get a Santa Cruz any faster. Oh, yeah, August order date and still waiting. I ordered mine in late August and got mine in November, so that is odd for Santa Cruz to take that long. So when we were talking about the other dealers, somebody said smaller deposit and better service is what I got from Preferred Hyundai, better than my local dealer. So there you go. We do things differently. Do you guys ship to Ottawa? Absolutely. And by the time you add Trend, it's approaching ultimate trim. I really wonder what features you sacrifice for the relatively small savings. Well, keep in mind the Ultimate is quite a bit more. There's little things like the surround view camera, the blind view monitor, some safety things that you may not be looking at, hybrid technology, larger rims, larger wheels. There is some appearance differences there. So it is a big jump. And again, I'm not saying this is for everybody, but I just think this is a good value if you don't want to go with that hybrid side of things. So there's that. Is there a model that has the turbo engine and not all the bells and whistles inside? So the hybrid model is a turbo, but there is not a hybrid turbo engine model without bells and whistles inside. Essentially, they are the higher trims. That's the way they do things. So they used to kind of add a turbo or add a more powerful engine. Now they add the hybrid, which is a more powerful engine, and they gain you extra fuel efficiency. So again, this would be very class competitive with the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder turbo, but then you can move to a 1.6 turbo with a hybrid, which gives you more power, and it gives you more efficiency, and that's sort of the trim lines above this, other than the N model, so a little bit of a catch there as well. All right, I want to show you the back seat here, because there's a couple little things that I don't usually show you. Again, we still have the doors that wrap around all the way to the bottom in the back here as well, and in the armrest here, well, first of all, you do have an armrest that has cup holders. Now, the seat seats were down when I got this car, and the seat belts were tucked in here, and I left them in there. And this is something that I almost never point out. These seat belts, of course, they sit in front of the seat there, and if you want them out of the way of your cargo, you can do exactly that. You can pull them up here, plug them in here like that, and it just holds everything in place when you put the seats up or down. Now, the other thing this vehicle has, let's see if I can film it from here, is a cargo cover. And you can see that cargo cover. We'll take a look at it better later. At this point, it does not touch the seat back. I set it back further. And the reason I did that is, let's show you right here. Jump in here, and I can recline this seat quite a long ways. So this one is the 40 side. It's a 60-40 split. This is the 40 side. But I can sit back here. I can relax. I can almost lay back down. It's very, very spacious back here and very comfortable. And the neat thing is when I'm flipping this seat back up, it's not just the back that tilts, the bottom moves a little tiny bit. So you get the proper seating position in here. Instead of just reclining the back and still having the level seat, it kind of moves the seat bottom as well to just be very, very comfortable. So speaking of very comfortable, let's take a look at what we're actually getting in this so-called small SUV. Legs completely flat to the seat. I mean, any which way I want to sit, it's perfect. There's a ton of footroom there, and that allows me to put my feet longer and stretch them out. Check out my knee room here. I own a Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz has a small back seat. It's comfortable. I fit back there. I'm good. But this and the Santa Cruz share a basic platform, and the rear seat room here is absolutely class leading. It is massive back here. So again, 6-footer, sitting behind a 6-footer, just tons and tons of space. And then you have some nice features as well. You've got the pocket over here, so that's a nice stretchy pocket. That's the way I like to see it. You've got the plastic back seat, so if you got kids back here, you can wipe down that with a cloth and be clean. You've got 2 vents back here, left and right vents, 2 USB ports back here. So just kind of everything you need in addition to being comfortable. And again, for a smaller crossover, this has as much comfort as many larger crossovers. The Palisade is not any more comfortable than this, and the Palisade's a lot larger. So, at least to me, I mean, certainly some people say, no, it's a better thing, and that's fine. You're allowed to, you're probably right. But I will tell you that for a small crossover, they really stepped up the rear seat space and the rear seat comfort here. So, let's take a look at the trunk for a second. As we pop open the trunk, touch it down here. It's not a powered tailgate on this model. Again, the higher trims can have that. So this here is your cargo cover that we were talking about. And you can see I had some space between the seat. So I can, if I can do this correctly, put this up against those seats. Oh, I left the seat just a hair too far back. Oh boy, now I got 2 hands. 1 second, guys. I don't want to break anything on a brand new car. All right. There we we go. So I'm gonna leave it where it is for now, but you can see, if we take a look right there, there's a little square in there, and that's where that fits. So the square in there is where you can put this cover closer or farther, and then you can also throw it underneath the floor into a spot down here. Now I haven't done this yet, but that's what that square is for there. So it runs across there. The only thing that concerns me is I've seen this without spare tires down here, and I haven't tried it yet. I hope it'll fit over this spare tire. I assume it does because they're there, and this thing should be designed for a spare tire, but you can then lift this panel up, throw it underneath there, and then you have the cargo cover that is underneath the floor. And then when you want to fold the seats down, you fold the seats down, you don't have that bar in the middle, and it's also not left in your garage. And speaking of folding the seats down, you pull that lever and the side folds, and same thing on the other side. So very easy to fold the seats down from back here. Speaking of trunk space, you can lower the floor by just like an inch or two. It's not a massive difference because you have that spare tire there, but you don't really need that. Technically in the spec book, the Tucson now has a larger trunk than the Santa Fe. Now I think the Santa Fe with the underfloor storage is more, but you know, this is why we don't measure in liters of cargo space here on this channel. We measure in teddy bear space, and you can see teddy bear has plenty of room. So take that back out, put them over here, and we have a 12-volt port that I forgot to mention over here, right there as well. So there's the 12-volt port, just like the front. It's got a nice little door on there. Tie downs throughout here as well. So cargo space, excellent. Rear seat space, excellent. Luxury features, pretty good. Panoramic sunroof, excellent. So here we go. We got 64 people on, 48. So we got like 12 more likes to get. I'm going to double check your questions, and then I'm going to go back and we're going to talk some safety, and we're going to talk some headlighting, some lighting all the way around. So 10 more likes to go. Let's see if we can get there. Oops, let's flip back to me for a second. Why didn't they put a center armrest in the Santa Cruz? I don't know, but I do believe there might be a speaker back there. That's what somebody has told me, and that would make some sense. Off topic, will it make a GT Kia Rio? I don't know. I don't think so. Somebody says, try and stay awake, Peter. I'm sorry. Okay, how do you turn on the inside light when you turn the car off when you close the doors? Oh, yeah, how do you turn the inside light on? Sure, that's a good question. Let's just quickly show you how to do that. It's the same for all of our cars. A number of ways to do things, so maybe I'll show you them all right now. All right, door is shut. Oops, don't want to look at me, we want to look at the lights. So door is shut, lights are off. If I want to turn an individual map light on, I can just touch the map light, different in every car. Sometimes you touch it, sometimes you just have to press a button. If I want to turn all the lights on in the car, turn that button on and the lights front and rear turn on. And if I want to set them to the door, I turn that light on. Because the door has been open, it will stay on for a while. If I was to start the car up right now, I don't know if it'll work if I just hit the start button. So I turn the car to the on position and they fade out. So again, when you have it pressed to the door, connected to the door, they will sometimes stay on for the short term. When you turn on the car, or when you turn off the car, they'll turn on. But we, at least at Brantford Kia, they seem to leave, or Brantford Hyundai, excuse me, they seem to leave that off. I don't want to mess with their system, so that's what we'll do there. But yeah, it's very easy to turn on all the lights if you need them, single buttons, that kind of thing. I love the tilt of the back seats. Can they go further back if the cargo cover was stored under the mat? No, well, yes and no. So no further back than I was. There's two positions for that cargo cover. So moving it forward, it would lock it there and be fairly upright but comfortable. Where I went them back, that's as far as they can go. So I can set the cargo cover all the way back, and that'll be as far as they go. If the cargo cover isn't there, it won't matter. They only go so far back. But realistically, that's probably as far as you want it, and probably as far as they're allowed to be to keep your seatbelt safe, right? The seatbelt has to be at a certain angle, certain position to make the seats legal to be driven in. So there's that. All right, somebody asked, does the Canada version have 3-zone climate control? No. There's a dual zone climate control, but not a tri-zone system here. So yeah, the seats do go back pretty far, somebody said. So there we go. Any news on a PHEV? Yes, PHEVs have already been delivered, and Brantford Kia failed me. So the problem with the PHEVs is they're all sold. And because I film here at the Brantford Kia studio and we don't film at the Brantford Hyundai store, we haven't spoken with customers about allowing me to drive their sold vehicle over here. So we do plan to have a PHEV here when it comes in. We may arrange with a customer. We've actually had people reach out from other places that may be willing to help us. So I will follow up on that and try to get the PHEV Tucson here and do a video for you as well. But I just missed it, basically, is the short thing. They sold it to customers, and I wasn't made aware of it, and I didn't get a chance to ask the customer if I could drive it across town or if they could drive it across town so that I could have it. So we will have one. It's just that did slip through the cracks over sort of the late or heading into Christmas into now. So, all right, let's turn on some lighting here. Let's talk some safety. Let's actually do safety first. So, first thing is first, we know about lane keeping, lane follow. What that means is the car is capable of steering for itself, and it's going to use the camera system right up in there to see things. Now, that camera can also see things like vehicles in front, and on this car, you have that camera seeing vehicles and other things in front, and this radar plate judging the distance between you and the vehicles, and that allows things like autonomous emergency braking and other safety features in there. So you have that, traction control, stability control, all-wheel drive systems, and drive modes that change the way the vehicle works. You also have a blind spot collision avoidance system, so you can see, be warned if things are in your blind spot. And when you have a blind spot avoidance system, you also have that same radar that sees the traffic up to about 230 or so feet, 280 feet, somewhere like that, feet behind you. That's a radar system back here that kind of looks around the back of the vehicle. So that's how you're warned in your mirror that there's somebody there. Now, when you throw the car in reverse, again, if a minivan's parked beside you, there's no way that that driver can see me coming across your path right here, but you can be warned because that radar system is back here and it can warn you. So both in reverse and driving forward, that radar system is active for different types of systems. One, to warn you of somebody crossing your path behind you, and one, if you're driving forward, to warn you of someone in your blind spots driving that way. General safety things, we've talked a lot about the Ioniq 5. You guys think it should have a wiper? I'm with you, it should. Well, this one's great. This one, wiper is up. I don't know if you can see it. Let's see if we can look up here. Come on, camera. There we go. You can kind of see that wiper right up there. I'm touching it there with my finger. So that wiper, instead of sitting down here for the snow and ice to collect on it, it's actually hidden behind the spoiler. It swings down and back up. It's a way better spot to have there. Interestingly, this Hyundai logo does not stick out. It's flush. I don't know why. I don't think it does anything, but it's kind of a neat look there. And we'll take a look at lighting for a second, and then we'll wrap this video up. Hey, we hit 60 likes. So from now on, it's all bonus likes. You guys are just hitting likes because it's a Friday and we like Fridays. Thanks for getting to our like goal. Let's turn the car on, lights on, and we're going to go to left side signal. All right, let's take a look at the lighting on this car. First of all, great mirrors here. Same mirrors exactly as the Santa Cruz, just so you know. I think they are anyways. Could be wrong, but no, I'm pretty sure they are. So nice lighting in there. They look pretty sharp. Now, down here, a little bit different. First of all, these lights don't show up at all looking the same as they do in person. You can see them in person, they'll look very white. When the headlights are on, which are right here, the headlights here are cause this area to dim. So those are dimmed when these headlights are on. They're bright daytime running lights. But you can see when I have the headlights on, it is a nice sharp cutoff headlight. Now these are not the top of the line headlights. These are called MFR reflective LED lights. For most people, there's not a huge difference. For the Kia and Hyundai nerds like me, you'll see that the sharp cutoff right there, it doesn't really demonstrate well. Again, this sharp cutoff, which goes from about here to there, is kind of that range. It's a little sharper cutoff with the very best headlights, but again, still LED lights, so really bright. This doesn't give you an idea of the pattern. It's just not, it's such a bright day here. It doesn't really show you the pattern, but it's very bright and clear. And again, LED lights give off a whiter color. It doesn't show right on this camera. I don't know why, but it shows off a much whiter color, which is more close to daylight, which when you're driving at night helps you recognize things that you wouldn't normally see. Down here, some of you don't like the signals in the bumper. That's where they are, but you do have this really cool jeweled look here, which is very hard to film. Just really high-end look to an LED light lit rear tailgate. Now, some people think these aren't safe. We're not going to talk safety. Styling thing, sure, it could be up there. I'll agree with you on that. But they're perfectly fine on there. And it is an amber signal. And again, you see it. Like, you guys can't see in the camera, but I can see that blinking clearly over there. And of course, this one down here. So really like the lighting on this car because it just looks a lot more high-end. So that is the Hyundai Tucson. I didn't mention the roof rails here. Somebody asked me a while, what about the roof rails with these sunroofs? Well, the reality is that Kia and Hyundai own every piece of the steel manufacturing process, or basically every piece of the steel manufacturing process. And that allows them to save costs, which means they can put more high-strength steel in this car. That makes it safer. More high-strength steel allows you to tune the suspension better, which makes it ride better. It also allows you to put really strong pieces for the safety cage that mean when you mount these roof rails up here, you're not in any way pinching or damaging that sunroof. Like, you can just reef on this, you can't see me, but I'm really shaking the whole car here with that side rail. They're solid. There's no issues at all with having a panoramic roof and that, other than if you have pieces hanging down, you don't want to open your sunroof and open into that. So there we go. Somebody says, I don't like. you don't like me, you don't like the car. Either way, that's cool. No big deal. So, all right, let's just show you the car for one more second. Gonna go back, take a few more questions. We're at 68 likes. Really appreciate you guys jumping in on the Friday. And are the rear signal lights LED or incandescent? Good question. And for whatever reason, just about every rear signal light is incandescent, even though there's LED everything else. So I don't know why, but they are the incandescent lights. New to this channel and enjoy how you go through each model. I would love to purchase my next vehicle from you guys, but I'm in the States. Anything you can do? No. Unfortunately, the dealer agreements for Canada do not allow us to sell to American residents a new vehicle. And actually, American dealers are the same for Canadians. So unfortunately, we can't. But I appreciate you watching, and hopefully we can give you the content you need. And I do appreciate that. All right. Off topic on 22 Nero. What does the smart cruise control setting, slow, normal, or fast mean? It doesn't say slow, normal, or fast in Canada. So we would probably, you'd have to connect with me about that later. Maybe I'll do a smart cruise control video later. You can set the distance between vehicles, but slow, normal, and fast is not something that that car has. So I'll make a video on that in the next little while. That'll be easier to understand. Okay. I think we got most of the on-topic questions. If I missed your question, feel free to ask me again. I'll stay on for just a couple seconds here. We finished a little early today. So the States have a better warranty. Just get one there. Sure, the States have a better warranty. Let's just talk about that States better warranty. My Santa Cruz, $41,000 in the States. Doesn't have the all-wheel drive system that I have, or at least not the same electronic functions. $45,000 in Canada. When you do the exchange, my Santa Cruz is cheaper than the American Santa Cruz. Also, we don't pay markup at our dealers. Just something to throw in there. So when you say that the Americans have a better warranty, what you're really saying is that the Americans' better warranty is built into the price of the vehicle. In Canada, if you want the same warranty, you can buy it from your dealer. You can buy that same extended warranty. The difference is you add it on as an option. So just a little clarification there. While Americans have a better warranty, usually the pricing per feature, that kind of thing, we tend to do better in Canada. So that's something worth keeping in mind as well. And that you can add that warranty here if you wanted it there. So does the N-Line Tucson and Preferred Tucson have the same keys? Yes. If it's a push button start, it has the same key as this one. So, slipping on my hands there. So yeah, that's the same key if it's a push button start, which I believe it is. Yes. So that's a good question. And where are we here? I don't know. I think we're going to leave it right there, guys. So thanks everyone for joining us. Monday, we're going to come back with the K5. You guys suggested that we should do the K5 again in proper detail. So we'll do that on Monday. We'll have some other stuff coming up next week. And hopefully we'll hear some news on some pricing, some other features that we're waiting for. We are waiting for the Kona N. That's not the N line, but the Kona N. We're waiting to see that soon. So hopefully that'll come soon as well. And that's what we'll do. So thanks everybody for watching. Have a good weekend. And we'll talk to you again on Monday.